Thanks for tuning in to watch our trades information videos. On each of these videos, we will try to provide the same amount of information. We'll talk about the physical abilities needed to do each job, the type of lifestyle that might be sustainable. Different areas will get different pay, so we're going to try and just focus on, would you be able to have an apartment? Can you have a car loan? You know, those kind of lifestyle kind of things that might be associated with a different paycheck. What certificates or licenses do you need? Do you need an EMT certificate? Do you need a commercial driver's license? Do you need different things? So in each of these videos, we will touch on those different requirements. In all of these videos, every single tradesman has made a point to say that the work ethic that the young person can bring to the career is what will make or break their career and enable their success. So I highly encourage you to watch all of the videos that we have on these topics. See what might fit you best. There is a different career and a different trade for each and every different personality. And if you can find what fits you, it will help you to be successful in life. And that is why we are trying so hard to get all this information out to people just entering the workforce or maybe changing the workforce mid-career. We want you to be successful in life. That's our goal. So enjoy these videos. Make sure to hit subscribe, because as I run across different trades, guys, I will get a different video. And if you subscribe, you will get the notification. Okay, so we're going to talk about trades.
Yep.
And you have a crane company in Denver.
In Denver.
And then you used to have a welding company.
A steel erection. Welding. Started welding and then changed into steel erection.
Okay, and you are a rancher.
And we are, cattle rancher, and then we also produce honey.
Okay, all right, brave man.
Yep.
I like the results, but not the process.
Yep.
But tell us about how you got started, and I think the welding came first.
Yep. So I grew up in southwest Utah. My family, my dad was a lineman actually, and we are a telephone engineer. We moved from Utah to Phoenix to Bend, Oregon. I did all my high school years in Bend, Oregon. And when I was there, I really got deep into agriculture. I enjoyed 4-H program through school, vocational ag. We would go to a different school and I do welding class. And through that, I had a small herd of cows that I sold at one point right after high school and started my welding business there. And the first one didn't work. We were doing more job shop stuff, but then we were doing fabrication. We were building some ground support equipment for Boeing, and then we would take it all the way to Washington, erect it, and put it together and sell it. But that partnership failed, and so then I moved to Colorado and I started out here welding pipeline and working for another company, and then went into my own welding business that we called Total Welding, and then it grew into a steel erection firm.
Now, how did you get the skills? How did you get the skills for the welding?
So I learned all my welding in high school.
Okay, through the vocational training that they offered. Okay.
Through metal shop.
Okay.
Just like some schools, very few schools have a wood shop. We had a wood shop, a metal shop, auto shop, auto body shop.
Nice.
And I did metal shop 3 years out of my 4 in high school, and I was good. I also did it through my FFA chapter or whatever. That was also through school.
Nice.
So
as a high schooler, did you have to get a certificate, or you just had the training?
So in welding per se, you have to have a certificate for every different process. So whether it's wire welding, stick welding, TIG welding, gas welding, and spot welding. And I did have several certificates that I was able to get through a local community college when I was in high school. So then there's a database, I guess, of certified welders, and in a little teeny community where I was at in Bend, Oregon, there wasn't very many tradesmen, and so it became a demand. And so I got a job. The word started to travel, hey, this kid can weld, and so that's how
And you did a good job, and you didn't probably complain about whatever, and
No.
just go do it. And,
Yeah, right.
Okay, good. Okay. So obviously, our high school here doesn't have a metal shop, but if somebody
Right.
were to go look for that, are there training schools that you know
After
of?
high school or during high school? There's
guess either
very,
one.
very few schools anymore that have any vocational ag or vocation,
Mm-hmm.
period. It's kind of a gone trade, and it's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah.
Because my belief on the blue collar is you instantly start to earn, because you're put right to work. Whether it's an apprenticeship, an internment,
Right.
or whatever, you
Well,
can
and
go right to work.
I think what we all just watched happen with this this virus that went through the community or went through the country is all the tradesmen, they never had to stay home, get a break, and need to get unemployment.
We all
They
got
were
that letter
working.
saying essential.
Yeah, they are essential. Yeah, my
So-
my son got the essential pay or the essential thing and kept working, and that's great. That's great stability when you're looking
Yeah.
at,
Sure.
do I have a job for life? And your answer is yes, you do.
You could.
Yeah.
And honestly, in specific trades that are a little bit hard, a little bit heavy lifting, nobody in America really wants to do that stuff anymore. So if you can learn simple supply and demand, it's very easy to know that if you're honest and you show up, that you're going to be successful.
Yeah. And so welding, I don't know too many female welders, but I guess there's I mean, you could.
There's
Oh,
some.
are there?
Yeah, there was some.
Okay.
Very few.
Okay.
But they're actually
no reason they can't.
No, they're wonderful welders because they're very steady hand. They're very good welders. The ones that I've seen or met. So I think it's a great trade. I mean, it's physical work and it's hard, but
any trade is, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
You just do it.
And actually, the welding part isn't that physical. I mean, you're dragging your welder around and your welding leads, and mine was more focused on pipeline for the first several years of my life, and then structural. Structural work is harder because you're anywhere from 0 to 100,
you're up in the frame of
100 stories in the air. So that brings a different level of physical, into it, but not necessarily.
Okay. Okay. And with the different kinds of welding, like you're talking about, you could be in a fabrication shop.
Yeah.
You'd be on the ground.
Right.
You could be 50 stories up. I imagine there's different
You could
pay
be underwater.
associated
You could be
with
pipeline.
underwater. Yeah.
Yeah. You could be water line. You could be gas line. You could be, in a very controlled environment. There was a time when I welded some Inconel, which is for the Denver Mint. I have no idea what it was for, but it was in a controlled atmosphere, and it had to be, you're suited up, and you go into this cage that has 0 oxygen, and you're welding this weird stuff for them, and who knows what they use it for, but probably to keep the minting coins perfectly clean or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
that was years ago.
Yeah. But neat.
But there's, NASA, they use a lot of welding machines and welding processes, or contractors for them. Lockheed and
All those
different
all
stuff,
those companies. Yeah.
Boeing.
So really anywhere in the U.S. If
Anywhere
you
in
wanted
the
to be a
US.
welder, you need to find some training.
Don't even think
metal
about
shop
these
or
little
something.
teeny communities that used to have a gas and station that would fix your car or put a hitch on your truck or whatever. They're gone. So everybody has to go to some town to get it, and it's way more expensive. Even if an individual wanted to start in a small community somewhere and have a welding, mechanic, car repairs, I think they'd be successful.
Yeah. Well, and I know some guys they're like a mobile.
Yeah.
They
That's what we
get a
did
truck
for years.
geared up. Yeah.
And that's more construction, pipeline, but you could go anywhere in the country if you were willing or wanted to travel. And I did that for a while when I was single, and you could make a lot of money because they pay per diem. You could get on jobs working 7/12s.
Oh gosh.
And
yeah.
when you're young, it doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah, it's true.
So
to get started, you got to find some training.
yeah,
Get the certificate
I
for the
practiced.
different process.
I did. I got I would get the they call them welding coupons. I would make my own welding coupons, just cut them out and just practice and practice and practice.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. And if somebody wanted to get started in that area, so one of our local kids here, and it's okay for me to give them your name
Yeah,
and come
absolutely.
talk to you. Okay.
I could show them, you know, the different coupons that are beneficial to getting them right in. And honestly, there's certain welding processes that if you had them done, you could do them when you were 14, 15. If you had the resources to do it at home and the will to stay up late and practice every day.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So once you got your welding company, we're going to go back onto our how you went. So you got a business in Denver, and I'm thinking that's pretty impressive. So you're not only a tradesman, you know how the business part of it works to make it successful. And I think that's very important for trades guys to know if they don't want to work for somebody else.
Right.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship.
And,
And I think that's something that I was blessed with, obviously, or whatever. But it helped a lot by understanding the business, and I think it would be beneficial to teach kids how to do that. You know, like let's get back to the lemonade stand when the kids are 10 and don't heckle them. Let them go sell their lemonade. Let them learn how to earn and fail.
How much are they spending? How much are they making?
How did we do? Like you know, in self-help classes or whatever, you learn, okay, what went good, what went bad, and what can we change. And I think that's a value that's been diminished. And these kids, they need a lemonade stand. They need something fun to go do it. And
a car wash.
Of course they're going to lose money. But they're going to learn from it. Or go cut firewood. I'm helping my son, you know, give him an idea. Like, we can use a ranch pickup and a chainsaw, but he's going to be the one that's going to get sweaty.
Good.
But
good. And he's going to sell firewood.
Think about firewood on a ranch. It's limbs that fell off a tree. There's zero cost basis. How can he lose?
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's a good business model.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you make use of what resources you've got.
Right.
Okay. All right. So you had your welding company, but then you transitioned to crane.
Well,
operator.
we augmented.
Oh, okay.
So we had a need in our steel erection business. We would use cranes to put up the high-rise buildings or the little buildings, whatever. And so we started a separate wing or a separate entity with trucking also and cranes.
Okay. So you got some trucking.
And the
you got
trucking
some cranes.
was we needed the trucks to haul our cranes around because they're.
So you went and got CDL license so you could drive the trucks. Okay. And
I didn't do that till I was a little bit older.
Okay.
You know, I was obviously an iron worker first, entrepreneur, iron worker. Yeah, and I did get my crane operator's license. I've had it several times. I don't have one right now currently, but if I needed to go run one for a living, I would go take the class.
Where do you go get that?
You can get them. There's a lot of training centers now across the country. It's called the NCCO, National Crane Certified Operator. Okay. And depending on your level of knowledge, you can either just test out, and then they'll send you your card, or you can go to some places have an 8-week school or a 6-week school or a 5-day school. Okay. Depending on prior experience.
Okay. And would that be cost comparable to maybe a semester in a junior college, or?
I don't know anything about college, so I don't know what a semester would cost. I would say if you went to the 6 or 8 week program, you're probably $5,000 or $10,000. I don't know.
Okay. So just a personal loan, just get a personal loan, or to get that, and then as you start, actually, I would assume you got to get some training. You're working for somebody as a low entry level job to get started.
In the crane world specifically, the best way would be to just start as a grunt. It still starts pretty good. You build the cranes, you truck, and then so usually we try to get the guys within the first year to get their CDL. You get a pay bump, you know, because you're obviously more useful and you're more trained. And you get you strap down loads, you can move loads across town, and then you become what we call an oiler, or a second guy in charge, rigger. And the rigger helps the operator put the cranes together. And then during the day, a lot of times the operator will say, hey, come run the crane for a couple hours. And
to
then,
train.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, so you'll have experience of load charts and
Okay.
swinging the crane and booming it up, booming it down,
Mm-hmm.
maybe taking it apart, maybe driving it through town.
Okay.
And so once you go to the test, you got a lot of experience.
Okay.
And you got paid while doing it. So
Yeah.
I feel
Okay.
that's the best way because it's good for the company and it's good for the man.
Okay.
And the man leaves with his own certification, and if he doesn't like working for me, maybe he likes working for the next guy.
Right.
But
But at
it's
least
his.
he's got some skills now.
Oh yeah, it's his.
Even if
Yeah.
he's still apprenticing, he hasn't
Yeah.
gotten a certificate, he's got some skills.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
And you know, the more skills you get, the more
The more
you
you
know,
get
because there's
bumped.
like telescopic cranes, there's lattice cranes, there's crawler cranes, truck cranes,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's different levels of certification, like with any other trade.
okay.
So
Okay. And so this is really something, I'm just going to guess here, you could start as, if you could start apprenticing
mm-hmm.
in high school, we go 4 days a week, somebody could be working on that 5th day, helping
Yeah.
out. Is there an
Yeah.
age record? Do they need to be at least 18?
Supposed to be, but they shouldn't need that.
Okay, if
on
they're
their-
starting out as a grunt, if they're not operating
Yeah,
anything, they can.
working in the yard, helping load trucks and
Okay.
stuff. I mean, we've had some fairly young ones work that are
Okay.
sons of employees or
Okay,
whatever.
getting started.
Yeah, neighbor kids that pull
Wanted.
weeds or whatever, change tires, do brakes on trailers, whatever.
Okay,
So-
all right. So, and then once they're helping out, they're learning, they go get, test out or take the training or whatever. They come back to you and now they have a certificate. So now they've got some history with you, they've got a certificate, and now they're pretty useful. So you're going to keep using them and keep training them up.
Oh, sure, you go up the ladder. I mean,
So a person could start as a high schooler and be there, doing this for 50 years. They would just change their jobs
if they loved it, yeah.
as they wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've got one kid that actually, his dad is the manager of our business, and he'd come in there when he was 12 or 13, and with his dad on the weekends, and he's excellent. He's I think barely 21.
Yeah.
And he's already running the big ones.
That's awesome. That is
And
awesome.
He's moved up in pay. I mean, he's doing very well, getting as many hours as that kid wants to work.
Yeah.
And a
So-
lot of it goes back to work ethic.
I was about to say I was in
So-
the school yesterday talking to the seniors, and they wanted to know, why are all these tradespeople coming to our school? We're in the middle of nowhere. And I said, that's why they're coming here, basically, because you are a bunch of farm kids. I mean, some of them live in town here, but they will go they have to go do chores before breakfast, before the bus gets them or whatever. They got to get home after school, get some chores done real quick before they go to basketball practice or whatever, and they're used to working, and they have a pretty decent work ethic as
Yeah.
of high school, which
Right.
maybe some kids in the city might not have, but could if they thought about it and thought about the benefit
Yeah.
that would provide them.
Yep.
But I think working and maybe working past your preferred quit time and doing it without complaining is a benefit that a lot of employers like, and they see that you have that, and they're willing to train you because they want that.
Right. Well, and that's what it took for me to build my business was, I would, somebody would, let me use their welding machine or their shop. I'd stay there till 9 or 10 o'clock at night, just practicing. One of my buddies were out making other choices.
Yeah.
And same with once I got in my business, I would work 6-7 days a week, and I learned how to do the estimates on the high-rise buildings. I self-taught all that, and so the estimating part of the steel erection business was all self-taught. Obviously I would bid a job, and then I would go do the job, and sometimes we made money, and sometimes we didn't.
And so you learned.
And you learn.
And you said, okay, that's what we did when we made money.
That's why I always laughingly say I got a master's in hard knocks.
Yeah.
Got a master's, several PhDs, and
Yeah.
losing.
And oops. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. But,
you got to keep going.
it's an opportunity to do better next time.
Oh, yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, I have
And not
fallen so
every-
many times. Yeah.
Not every business needs just money. I mean, you got to have some quality of life. You got to love what you're doing. You got to love who you work for. You got to love who you work with. You got to, I think you got to fulfill your own personal, whether it's art, whether it's welding as a form of art, or any mineral extraction out of the ground is a blessing because it's you love that, you know, because you like, I took something from nothing, and that to me
I made
is
it. Useful.
I think it's really neat that can be done, and I think it gets overlooked, way overlooked. I mean, you can go learn how to do salt, or gold or silver or water or farming. You know, it's a seed, and you cultivate it and you water it, and you work hard and you harvest it.
Yeah, awesome. So your crane company is in Denver. Do you hire local folks from Denver,
We'll hire
or
anybody.
anybody?
Anybody. Yeah.
Okay, but they need to then put themselves near there or have a big
Well, we
commute.
have guys that live quite a ways away.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll drag a trailer around or whatever because they want to live in a more rural community but earn the wage of Denver, and so they'll live several hours away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just whatever.
Not all of them, but
whatever the choice.
Yeah.
But, so if somebody wanted to get into the crane stuff here locally to us, give them your name. You'll probably interview them, chat with them a little bit.
Yeah, and some of these kids that have the opportunity to learn how to run equipment on their mom and dad's farm or mom and dad's ranch or grandpa's or neighbors, go get started. I don't care if you're just running a skid steer. It's the same theory, only bigger.
Yeah, that's
a crane
true.
is a crane. I mean, a bulldozer, a front end loader, a backhoe. It doesn't just have to be a crane, but it's a machine's a machine.
So if somebody was looking to gain some experience, but their ultimate goal maybe didn't quite have them in the crane business forever, they still should get that experience. And
any experience is valuable.
Yeah. Okay.
For anything. I mean, that was me. My ultimate goal was to have a cattle ranch, not a crane company, not a welding company.
Yeah, but now you have both.
Right.
You have the crane company and the cattle business. So
yeah.
okay. So talk to us about the cattle business.
Okay.
So you got started. I remember you just said you had a small herd in high school that you sold.
A few
as,
that I would,
like your nest egg.
Yep. That was what I started to, to buy a few welding machines and tools and, to get kind of a store going or a shop going. But yeah, that's what I started with. So.
Okay. And then now you have, how many head do you run? You have kind of a large herd.
Yeah, we have, we're probably 1,200 to 1,400 mama cows.
Okay.
Depending on the drought or whatever, so.
Okay. All right.
Medium size, I would say, producer.
And you and your kids, your wife, kind of run it.
Yeah, we have a couple different. We do some of our stuff goes through Country Natural Beef out in Oregon, which is a farmer rancher-owned co-op, and then we also sell locally grass-fed beef.
Okay.
My wife does that.
Okay. Yeah, I see her running around doing that a lot.
She's done very well.
Yeah, she's good at that. Okay, so not a lot of overhead in that, except you gotta manage your land.
I basically started my businesses when I was 19. I'm 45. We started ranching in 2009, and it's 2020, and it took, we only started with 55 cows.
Oh, okay, and it's just build.
Okay. But there again, it's an organic wealth. That's, the thing that I love about it is it's something that was given to us through the creation that we can nurture and that we can feed and feed our local communities, or even when we have excess, we take it to Denver, we take it to some other state, or even another country, feed them.
Nice.
So I'm a big lover of agriculture. I just think that we're an agrarian, even whether we want to believe it or not, but this country was based on an agrarian economy. And we've moved so far away from that I believe that we're in trouble with that.
Nice.
And so it's not the best pay. It's not, you get kicked and you get pooped on and you get run over and it's very physical.
But you've got a food source.
Well, or even something to trade with your neighbor, or something to stimulate a local economy. I mean, if you look at around here, we got wheat farmers, corn farmers. They're vital to the community.
I like the fact that I can get pretty much everything I need for my kitchen without driving very far at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we go back to the 20s and 30s when the Depression happened in this country, and the people that made it the easiest were the ones that had a local supply chain.
yeah, and also I'm going to bring it back to the trades folks, the people that could build stuff.
Yep. They were the ones that really started the Industrial Revolution. When they, you know what I mean, when they started building high-rise buildings and they figured out how to make steel, and yeah, you're right. There'll always be a need for blue collar.
I think it's the backbone on which all the other jobs stem from, and you know, engineers are super important, doctors are super important. So I'm not going to say college needs to go by the wayside, but there is an importance to having those trades.
Right.
To build your buildings. I think everybody in America, maybe not everybody, but like 99% of people in America have electricity, plumbing, air conditioning, heating,
And a car
a car.
needs to be worked on,
Yeah.
maintained.
Yeah. So there's this side benefit too. My son is an electrician. I need a heater in my bathroom. I call my son. Say, hey, can you put a heater in my bathroom?
Sure.
And then I don't have to pay the electrician prices. No, granted, I buy the parts,
Right.
and
Oh,
I
yeah.
feed him very well.
Yeah, you still pay.
So I try to pay in that way, but that's a little different than
Right.
hiring an electrician
Sure.
to come out and pay them however much.
Right.
So as he grows older, he's going to be able to wire his own house.
Oh yeah.
And so he's going to be making money as an electrician, but he's also going to be saving money because he can do his own work. And I think if you are a welder, you know, you need a gate fixed or something, you don't hire somebody to do that. You just fix it. So you're making
Or even
that
like
functional.
you're saying, I can go help my neighbor for a week working on something, welding, and maybe they have a trade that is useful to
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
you know, and we can be neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's beneficial in more ways than just one.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting a great paycheck, but you're taking care of yourself. You're
And your
taking care of
community.
your
Yep.
neighbors.
Yep.
So it's huge.
And one of the things to go back into the trades, one of the biggest deficiencies that I've seen in the 20, 30 or something years, and it doesn't matter whether it's a brick mason or a carpenter or an iron worker or a welder or a crane guy, there's real deficiency in these kids that they don't know how to read a tape measure. They physically can't pick up heavy things. I don't know if they were couch potatoes
Or they just don't know how to use the leverage of their body.
or whatever. They just situational awareness with being like saying, okay, so we put this piece in, what's next? What's next? There is a huge, and I would say from the early 2000s until currently, people are now, I don't know whether they're timid from school, I don't know, home, I don't know. But you have to tell them, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this. And I don't remember that being the way it was when I grew up. It was like you were taught to look ahead, whether it was in a baseball game, a football game, or
Problem
shop
solving.
class.
Situational
So
awareness
you're
and
building a
problem
shelf.
solving.
You
Yeah.
don't build the doors first. You build the substrate, then the shelf, then the door. So look ahead. And so I would say to some of these kids, look, get some of that going. Learn how to read a tape measure. Learn how to do fractions. Learn how to convert fractions into decimals. Learn how weights and measures.
Yeah.
You know, learn how to look at something and say, oh, I think that's 5,000 pounds. Because I'm going to pick it up with this crane, and if it's too heavy, the crane's going to lay down horizontally, and that's not good.
Yeah, that's bad. that would be bad.
And it's just simple stuff that can be done at home or and I think sometimes these school districts and people get nervous that it's going to be this huge program. It doesn't have to be.
No.
A tape measure. 100 kids can learn how to read a tape measure. I'll go teach them.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know, you can't do everything on a phone. You can't use the phone to convert fractions out in the field when you're 42 stories in the air.
Well, you don't have the
and you're-
time for that.
Right. you know.
Yeah.
Learn how to sweat a pipe. Learn how to, prepare a copper pipe. So, like you were saying, you fix your house. Fix a piece of plumbing inside your own house. So you don't, us rural folks, it's different. We have to. We can't afford the service call to bring somebody from Denver out.
Yeah.
So we muster through it and get it done. I would always say, don't do something for your parents. Don't do something for grandpa.
Family business.
Well, I'm not saying, don't become an electrician because your dad wants you to.
Oh, I see, yes.
I mean, listen to your parents. But do something you're passionate about. It's that simple. If you love what you do every day, it's going to be easy to wake up, it's going to be easy to go do it, and you're going to be successful. So don't listen to me. I'm not an electrician. I don't know how I can get something to turn on, but it's kind of a wreck. But it was not something I was ever passionate about. So would I be a good electrician? Yeah, if I could change my mind, I could be a good electrician.
Right.
I don't care to be an electrician because I do other things. But with your son, if he loves it, then I think he's going to be successful. And I know he will. And whether he wants to work for himself or not, that's going to be a choice. I believe everybody should endeavor to work for themselves. I know that sounds big and sounds hard.
But it's really not.
It's really not.
Yeah.
There's some kids that are a great example around here that go mow lawns. What a wonderful thing. They're working for themselves. They're getting to do service for others. They're getting paid to do it. They're getting exercise. They love what they do. So are they successful?
And
absolutely.
Somebody else is helping. I don't know if these kids think about it or not, but I would willingly, I want to have you do this because I want you to keep learning about how to run your business. They're timid to go ask, and people don't want to pay my prices or whatever. I'm sure they would because they want to encourage you.
Sure.
And build your business.
Yep. So I always tell people, do what makes you happy. It doesn't matter what it is, because it's whether it's art or some trade you learn, it's yours. It's nobody else owns it. So it's yours. Go expand off.
And if they don't have anything that they're passionate about right now, just go try something. Yeah. See if you like it.
Go work on a farm.
Yeah.
Go work on a ranch. You'll know what you don't like.
Yeah.
Go work at something where you think you might like. Go work at a meat plant. Go work at a chicken plant. Go work at a feedlot. Go work.
Or local mechanic.
A local mechanic or a tire shop. You'll either like it or you won't. And if you do, then do something about it.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
You can never replace experience. Just being in there to learn how to do something. Because if you don't go do it, you won't see that, hey, this other angle right here, this might be a cool endeavor that nobody's ever thought of. Get it done. Because there's always going to be something changing. Whether the economy's changing, whether we're changing our habits, and look at manufacturing. For a long time was pushed out of this country because of regulation. Now it's being brought back in. So there's a need.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
And I think a lot of our tradespeople, there's not a lot of young tradespeople.
No.
So we need to get some people that can be trained up.
Well, and I can't say nobody. A lot of people don't really want to physically work.
But it's a way you.
Well, I can tell you, if you're willing to physically work, and you stay honest and clean and go forward in good faith, you should be pretty successful after 10 years.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing.
Oh.
Because nobody else wants your job.
Yeah. Now
they don't want to work either.
Here's a question that came up with one of the other trades. Is there anything? Are there choices that a high schooler could make, while they're in high school or whatever, that would totally kill the ability to walk into welding or crane or anything like that? If they get DUI, if they are using drugs, anything like that would drugs are always obviously a deal killer with any trade, I think. I think so.
The DUIs, well, they can work through them. It's not easy because they have to have that red license. Yep, it's hard. So preparatory in high school, I would say get as much diversified experience you can, kind of in the area you're thinking. If you're thinking agriculture, go there. If you're thinking vocational trades, go there. You know,
It happened from that.
and there again, it's a, you know, my buddies were doing that, and I was welding.
And you were practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why was I successful? I don't know. Actions, you know.
Well, yeah, your choices
I mean,
and your habits.
I obviously had fun as a kid and did stuff that I shouldn't have done, and that's normal. But it wasn't habitual. It wasn't every single day. It didn't change my life. It didn't, you know. So, you know, like I say, work ethic. You know, learn how to read a tape measure. Learn how to situational awareness. Situational awareness. What's next? Don't stand there and let your foreman tell you what to do. Be as good or better than as him, and you'll start to go to the top. And then, you know, sock away money and be prepared for rainy days or opportunities when they come up. Let's say you're an electrician for 10 years and you're working, and the man you're working for or the woman you're working for, maybe they want to sell out. Well, you're in a position to buy that company. That's what happened with my steel business. Is the key employees bought it, and they're doing wonderful with it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and what a blessing for me, and what a blessing for them.
Yeah. Awesome.
And all they did was work there for, you know, one of them for 10 plus years and one for 20. So they were, you know what I mean?
And they saved away, and boom.
Yeah. Well.
Now they own
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Good.
It's a finance deal, but yeah.
But yeah. But they,
Sure.
I mean, they had to
They're
be in
now
a
in charge
position
and-
to be able to qualify for that.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah. Awesome. Well, that's good. So we talked about welding, we talked about crane, we talked about ranching, entrepreneurship, good personal choices. These are all good.
Yeah, and just, you know, part of the, I guess, personal choices is put money in the bank. You know, live as conservatively as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody needs a car. You don't need a fancy house. You don't need a fancy car. You know, if you're trying to be entrepreneurial, you know, maybe just do with what you can and put some of that money away so that you can start. And I think that was what helped make me win too, was I was always pretty conservative.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
I
then
always
you
had
don't,
a nest egg there to go, okay, I'm ready to buy a crane, or I'm ready to go buy a cow, or some property, or whatever it was. You know, there's lots of different ways to do that. You know, be good at investing in yourself. Maybe not somebody else. Invest in yourself. Believe in yourself.
yeah.
You know, that's why I like 401k in lieu of like a pension. That a lot of these unions, and it's a mixed pension, and I think it leads down a bad deal. Just a personal deal. I don't want to get in the weeds there, but
Yeah.
I think you can do better with your goals and your money when it's yours than
Yeah.
giving it into a big, huge fund that somebody else manages.
Yeah.
And so it goes back to trust in yourself, believe in yourself.
And invest in yourself.
Yeah, and I think that needs to be taught at school and at home. These kids are coming out, like I said earlier, they're timid. They're scared to make a mistake. They're scared to get hurt. They're scared to. It's going to happen. We don't love to get hurt, but it's happened to me, and
It happens.
it happens.
It's
no
a learning
fun.
opportunity.
And
It
for
is.
me, I looked at it and said, well, the risk equals the reward, and so it is what it is. I have never seen a welder in my life that doesn't have scars all up and down from being burned. You know, it's part of the deal. The broken fingers and hands, and you know, it ages you quick. It's hard physical work. That's why I say, be physically prepared, be willing to take a risk, and you know, I think you can do good.
Yeah.
And there's lots of trades where you can kind of go to the top and become a supervisor if you're a good communicator, if you're a good organizer, you know, and you can learn all that stuff when you're young.
Yeah.
Whether
Well,
it's
that's
church groups
even,
or Boy Scouts
Yeah.
or sports or 4-H programs. Learn how to be an organizer. Those are foundational skills that take you into the next level.
They are.
And when you can look over and see your coworker and say, hey, buddy, do you need help? Or we should be doing this next, you're going to start rising to the top.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
very few guys. And going back to what you said, that's why some of us companies come to rural America to get workers, because they have some of that.
They have those skills.
The
yeah.
cities, not necessarily. They are there.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
But it seems like you have to look a little harder.
Right.
And for those kids that have them and that are in the cities, maybe go to those trades folks and say, hey, I know how to do this. I know how to do this.
Right.
Be your own advocate. Tell them what you know how to do. And then they'll hire you on, probably at the beginning job, and train you.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm a big believer in self-sufficiency. So you on day one, you might be the low man on the totem pole, and you might be upper middle management within 2 years. Mm-hmm. I don't hold anybody back.
Yeah.
Show action.
Yeah, show me what you can do.
Not words, action. Mm-hmm. And that's how I do it. And that's, I think, what made me successful was I had those kind of people. Mm-hmm. I didn't.
And they probably
we don't
told their
coddle
buddies
them.
and said, hey,
Right.
this is a good guy to work for. He does.
We don't have employee handbooks like this. We don't handcuff our people into some program. It's like, look, dude or gal, this is, equal opportunity, not equal result. Equal opportunity.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. And so get out there and show us what you got.
Yeah.
And any trade, hopefully, would be that way.
I think
I
they
don't
are.
know.
Yes. From everybody that I've talked to so far, you show me you're learning it. You show me you can do it.
That brings your aptitude up.
Yeah. And while you're doing it, you have a good attitude. You're not whining and complaining that this is beneath you. Just do the job. Show me you can do it. Do it well. Do it quickly. Whatever. And
hopefully some of these, whether they're in the city or out here in the country, if some of these schools can start adopting some of those, I don't even know what you would call those programs. I would call them vocational ag.
I think they do. Vocations,
Just start
programs.
teaching kids to learn how to read a tape measure. I hate to keep pounding on that, but
it's a skill.
It's a skill. It's no different than brushing your teeth. And you got to do it every day, and or making your bed, whatever it is. You can change the world by making your bed. Somebody said, right? Every day. I don't know who said it, but it's simple stuff like that. Become better, a little bit better every day at whatever trade you are, and I think that comes through the passion of liking what you do. And nobody can tell you what that is. You have to go find it.
Yeah.
And I think at a young age you can find it.
Yeah.
And I think if you can get right into it, it'll help with some of the other issues of the parties on the weekends, and because you're busy. And I think that usually goes parallel with success. When kids are focused on a goal and they're going forward, that's a successful path.
Nice.
So the team value stuff is good, but let's go back to be strong individuals. Don't necessarily, some of the teamwork stuff kind of, I think, makes some of these guys timid. I may be wrong, but be willing to be different. I mean, what is an entrepreneur? You're going to be different. They're going to tease you. They're going to make fun of you.
You're out there on your own.
They're going to be jealous of you. Some people are going to be proud of you, but not all at once.
Right.
And so you're going to have to be different. You're going to have to be willing to be different. That's true entrepreneurship.
That is true. I had not ever thought about it that way, but it is true. And a lot of people will look at you and they might not say anything, but they're admiring you.
Sure.
And going, I should be doing that.
Right. And they can in their own chapter. It might not be steel work and crane work and cows, because those are maybe something they don't enjoy, or they weren't locally connected to them. I mean, there isn't going to be very many kids that are going to have the opportunity right here in Semler, Colorado to go run a crane. They're going to have to, that's a big, it's a 2-hour drive or hour and a half drive to the yard from here. So, but there's a meat plant, there's a grocery store, there's 2 drilling companies that are great, there's farms, ranches, there's all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Just got to go get it.
Yeah. Find what you're passionate. There's tons of lawns to mow here in this yard, or in this town. There's trees to trim. I mean, think about tree trimming. I think that'd be a wonderful because some people don't want to work with a bunch of crew of guys. They'd rather be a one man. Go be a tree trimmer.
Yeah.
You can do that all by yourself.
Yep.
Or a beekeeper. Like we were talking. We run some bees. It's kind of a one man thing. Yeah, it's physical, but can't have a bunch of people standing around when you open a hive of bees up. There's 40,000-50,000 bees in there, and they get a little grumpy.
Yeah.
but it's something we need.
Mm-hmm.
There again, it's like getting burnt with welding fire. Nobody really wants to do it, so the pay goes
The
up.
pay goes up, yeah.
Same with running a beehive. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
really wants to get stung.
Mm-hmm.
So the guys of us that are willing to take that risk, yeah, money has a good value.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And
And
the
if
crane
any-
operator, you could be pretty high up, depending on where.
Yeah, tower cranes. We
Yeah.
don't have any tower cranes
Okay.
specifically.
Okay.
But oh yeah, it'll climb with the building, absolutely.
Okay.
Hundreds of feet.
And
up.
I would not like to have that job, and
Right.
so I'm assuming that probably pays a little
I
better.
specifically don't love sitting in a crane all day.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather be outside with the crew doing the steel,
Mm-hmm.
doing the welding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know how to run them. I did run them. I will run them. But that wasn't my passion.
Mm-hmm.
My passion was to own them. I needed them
Mm-hmm.
as equipment in my other business, but I didn't really want to sit in a seat
Mm-hmm.
for 10 hours a day. So, but a lot of people are enamored by them because they're just big and they're neat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just counterweight and leverage.
Yeah. Math.
Yeah, it's just gravity. Yeah, yeah, it's
Just gravity.
yeah. It's very simple. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think too
Gravity
many
is a
people.
pretty powerful force.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So anyway,
All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you for.
yep.
Okay, thanks for watching our video. I hope you loved it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and you will get notified when we have new stuff.